Welcome to America's Commercial Real Estate Show, your source for intel, forecasts, and strategies. Hello, I'm Michael Bull. Our segment today is brought to you by Barnes Creative Studios. If you want an incredible video for your next project, visit barnescreativestudios.com. We have an interesting show for you today, and I've been looking forward to this show for a very long time. We're going to talk about wellness. And that may seem odd to some folks because it's the commercial real estate show, but it has become so important in our business lives, in our real estate lives. Think about, we're putting more people in less space. We're wanting more productivity. And how are we going to get it? Through wellness. Please welcome my first guest. It's Judith Webb. She's Executive VP with the International Well Building Institute in Studio One here with us. Judith, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks for having me today.
Well, Judith, first of all, to lead some importance to this subject, it seems to be on the mind of every tenant that we represent, and more on landlords as they get to understand if their tenants are productive, happy, healthy, they can pay more rent, the buildings become more valuable. How important are you seeing this wellness as to the business world today?
It's critical. I had a conversation just this morning with someone who is with one of the largest search firms in the country, and he was talking about the importance of finding the right mix of perks and activities to attract the talent that America needs today. Number one on the list, I want to be in a place where I feel like I have a chance to succeed. Some of that stuff is just intrinsic, right? You want to have a good boss, you want to like your colleagues, that's all great. But you also want to be able to feel good at the end of the day. You want to be able to think well. You want to be able to look up and see a little greenery, look around you and see light that isn't glaring down on you like a fluorescent light, but is seeping in from those big windows and all that green space. All of those things are evidence-based research activities that have been proven to help you feel better, to help you think better, to help you be calmer, to help you do a better job. And at the end of the day, you want to go home and hug your kids and see your family and feel really good. That's a trend that is really amazingly present in the real estate market today.
Yeah, it's so important. I remember when I was a kid and I was a young man, I was showing apartments, and I had this one apartment that was really dark, and this guy came in who was completely blind, and I said, well, he won't mind, and I showed him the dark apartment. I said, all right, I'll get this rented finally. He stands at the doorway and he says, that's too dark. I'm like, I'll never rent this. And I probably should have never rented it. I think people, they get a sense for it and they feel it, but sometimes they don't really realize why. I think if you look in the office that we're in today, the Bull Realty office where Studio One is, there's fresh flowers, there's plants, there's light, and you feel it when you're in here. You feel good, but I don't know that you really get it, that you really know why when you're an occupant sometimes.
Well, that's why we need really good research to prove the point. We all know anecdotally that fresh air that's cleaner and light that's different colors during the day, that water that is ready to be drunk when you need it, you don't have to go look for a dirty water fountain. All of those things really matter, except they matter in our deep cortex. They're things that we want as human beings. And if we can make them available to all of our employees, then our employees are going to feel better, they're going to be more productive. That's going to be a selling point for anybody in corporate real estate today.
Yeah, and now there's a way to certify your building and your space for a wellness certification. Tell us about this certification.
So, the International Well Building Institute has created something called the Well Building Standard. Now, you can do 1 or 2 or 6 or 10 of these things in a marginal way, and will you have impact? Sure you will. But our standard is an evidence-based protocol that says if you do all of these things together and they interact together in a holistic way, then you are going to be able to have predictive improvements in the health and well-being of your employees and your tenants and the folks that you care about, your families.
Yeah.
So the standard is about 3 years old, be 3 years old in November. It was the result of about 7 years of research done across the medical community, the public health community, the real estate community, the corporate wellness community. Everybody had a different piece to bring to the table, but these aren't people that talk to each other on a regular basis. So it was almost like an epiphany when you can take the largest asset class in the world, real estate, and marry it to one of the most progressively growing classes of activities in the world, health and wellness. Now we're beginning to see something really important. So the standard lays out this protocol across 7 features, we call them: air, water, light, comfort, fitness. And one of the most interesting ones is mind, because we don't ever, you've seen a trend to mindfulness in the workplace, asking people to take a moment and have a centered thought, to not let stress get to them. Stress is one of the leading causes of high employee absenteeism. Also, we also know it affects our work. Personally, we know when we're stressed.
Yeah, it makes us lose our hair too.
Well, there's that. I wasn't going to say anything. But if you can institute a number of features in your design, if you put a human being in the middle of every design decision that you make, you're going to make a different decision. And here's the thing. When you talk about the well building standard, when you have a well building, 100% of your employees are going to benefit. The thing about wellness activities in corporate America today is that so many of them are well-intentioned, but they're so fractured. And yeah, guess what? The employees kind of have to participate. Right. You have to agree that you're going to lose weight. You have to agree that you're going to stop smoking. You have to work on that, that diet thing that you've been promising yourself to do. A well building embraces you with wellness that affects anybody that walks in the building. The air is at a higher filtration level and protects you from the things that really go wrong in your cardiovascular system. The light, circadian rhythm, is a new field, and yet we have found through research that as light, the color of the light changes during the day, it makes your body function better if your body keeps up with that. So for instance, you want nice blue light when you're very excited and you're trying to study and be very focused. You want warm light towards the end of the day when you're trying to relax. You want a student who's trying to study in the bright light, and you want your mama who maybe is moving into dementia a little bit. The warmer lights will calm her. That is a really important part of the whole standard, how we use light. Another part is this whole idea of comfort. And comfort we all think of comfort, I think, like, well, is a chair comfortable? Ergonomics is important. Right. But what about acoustics? Can you hear? Is it echoey? Right. Is there too much noise? Is the white noise too loud? Is your neighbor in the cube next to you too loud? How can we help acoustics mask the sounds that we don't need to hear so our minds can concentrate? Back to that mindful moment. So the well-building standard puts all of this together in a protocol, and a corporate real estate person, either on the facility side, on the design side, on the management side, on the landlord side, all of the people that touch the idea of corporate real estate have an opportunity to learn about the standard by becoming a well-accredited professional. We have a very sophisticated program where we provide materials, we provide a testing protocol, and then all of a sudden you're an expert in how this works. Once you have the opportunity to absorb it, it's a really easy tool to get excited about because you begin to see the benefits almost immediately.
And how long would that take for someone to learn that and have that certification?
So the accreditation. For the individual, yeah. Depends on your study habits, but we have classes that are both online and taught by faculty that are in person. They're all over the country, and the classes usually run for an entire day or across 3 half days. And you do that, you do a little studying, you go take your test, and if you pass, you become a well-accredited professional. And then you can become a person who is incredibly more valuable to the real estate team because now you're at the front line of keeping up with that knowledge around
Yeah.
wellness.
And there's information on that at wellcertified.com?
Yes, we have a
Okay.
whole bunch of resources, but we also have a very robust education platform. You can choose from classes, you can choose from online seminars. We have a number of education providers that are giving us content that's really rich and helps people understand.
Okay. I want to ask you some more about the specifics of how do you get the light right, the light, how do you get the right sound and the plants and the light in your space, and particularly the air and the air quality. Let's talk some more about that. I want to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more on wellness. I'm Michael Bull. This is America's Commercial Real Estate Show.